Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first edition of the Bench Side Podcast. I'm your host with my co host, Rowan Duke, who will be here and we'll be trying to film and upload every Saturday. Rowan, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Well, as stated, my name is Rowan Duke. Um, my background is sports. I played club soccer for the past 10 years. I played club hockey pretty much all my life. I've been really into it, and over the past few years, I've really been loving it. And yeah, I love sports. I love following sports. I've been around sports my whole life. All of my sibling or my brother played hockey, and my dad played hockey as well. My mom swam, and yeah, it's been great. I've grown up around sports all my life, and I love sports. I follow the MLB, NFL, NHL, obviously, and any sports I get my hands on, whether it's MLS, like let's say Champions League, right, Premier League. I mean, I love any and all sports. What about you, kid?
Yeah, I think one of the things is recently I've been very involved with the NFL. Uh, Ever since fantasy football, me and my friends have been started playing. I've been on the app too much. I have to admit. If you look at my screen time, it's probably not healthy how much I'm on the fantasy football app. But I have to say, my favorite is the NHL. Um, I watch too much news about the Oilers. I'm a passionate fan, much like Rowan. We watch the Oilers every game. We love this team. We hate on this team, but we love them, and there's no way around it. We when they lose, it feels like we lose, and we are very happy when they succeed, and we're also not happy when they do not succeed. And I think a little bit more about myself. I played hockey, high level hockey, before I shifted my passions to soccer, which I also played very high level club soccer. Not as good as Rowan. He's slightly better than me in both sports, but we can talk about that at a different occasion. I played high level club volleyball um, before I before I started growing. Um, Now I am an analyst here on the Benchside podcast, giving my takes about hockey, the MLB, the NFL, and I'm a bigger fan of the Premier League. As Rowan said, he likes the MLS more, and that's about it.
Yeah, so let's get into it. First, we're going to start off just a little quick segment here on the Edmonton Oilers. What are your thoughts on the start of the season and specifically Stuart Skinner here?
I think one thing is with Skinner is before we came into the game last night against Vancouver, I was happy with him, but also not happy with him at the same time. He showed signs of being a number one goalie here in Edmonton. And then I watched his goal that he let in, this famous trademark goal that everyone's seen the wholesome edit, even if you're not a hockey fan. Thank you, Skinner, for letting in that amazing goal. Anyways, I'm sure that was one of the Calgary Flames forwards, one of his most historic goals. He probably has that picture up in his living room now of how easy it was to score on Skinner. But we're behind this. There's lots of positives to Skinner. His contract is very valuable. We can talk then about that now. We can talk about it in the present. Skinner is valuable to our team. He brings a good message. I think he's good in the locker room. I can't speak about that myself, but we live and die with Skinner. And Skinner sometimes isn't the guy, but what are we gonna do about it? Everybody knows we need a goalie. They're not going to make it easy for us to get a goalie. We tried to get Campbell, that didn't work out for us. We've now we This is our resort of Skinner, and I think McDavid knows that. Draisaitl knows that this is who we have. And as Oilers fans, we should not be putting down Skinner. We should be hyping him up. Skinner is our guy. As much as I love Picks and his $1 million contract, we need to believe in Skinner as Oilers fans.
I absolutely agree with that take. Stu, it's a roller coaster cheering with the team that has Stuart Skinner. He absolute gifts. We'll say to some teams. I don't know, maybe he's got some sneaky bets. I shouldn't say that, but Um, the FBI recently got involved with some betting there's some betting in the NBA, Chauncey Phillips and Terry Rozier. So yeah, I mean, you never know what's behind the case. But Stu, great mustache, great hair, but also great vibes around the team. He he brings a sense of unpredictability to the team. Not saying that's entirely a great thing, but he, yeah, he's our goalie, and we support him through everything. He gets the job done. He's been good in flashes, and sometimes, hey, maybe a gift from a goal, but why not get it out in the regular season and not gift him a goal in the postseason? So hey, get it up now. That's all right, and yeah, we'll keep moving forward.
Do you think Connor Ingram will play a game for the Oilers this year?
It is entirely probable that Connor Ingram may play a game for the Edmonton Oilers this year, with Pickard being on the older side, Stuart Skinner not being able to play every game as the number one option. I mean, Pickard, if obviously we'd love for him to stay healthy, but if he does get injury prone or Stu gets one, Ingram backs up. I mean, it's not an unrealistic possibility. Yeah.
Yeah. I think one thing the Oilers did do well this season is they signed their core guys. McDavid is now back on the team finally. We got that all over our shoulders. I had a bit of a sore taste in my stomach when I heard that all the comments that McDavid made in the offseason of, oh, I'm thinking about all possibilities. But when he finally signed the deal, I was thrilled, especially how much money it was. I was laughing. I sent Rowan a text and I said, he's signing today, boys. And he ended up doing it.
Yep.
Do
Yeah.
we now regret it, though, because he's not playing well? Is he on the down?
Well,
I don't know. He's still Connor McDavid. We love him.
yes. Yes, at this point, Connor McDavid, obviously the one goal in the year, but he has still been putting up over a point per game. He's still on track for, I mean, by any NHL player's means, a fantastic season. Obviously, maybe not living up to the goal scoring capabilities that he pushed for and that he said he could take in the off season. Obviously, he said that he wanted to prove that scoring 50, 60 goals isn't a one off and he can do it night in, night out. But hey, at 12 and a half, we'll take point per game guy every day, especially with how much he means to this team and how much he plays. It's really important to this core.
Yeah, I think the other thing is with the contracts is the Bouchard contract was a bit of an overpay. I think just because of the offer sheets that Carolina they basically told the Oilers that they were going to put up that number, and so the Oilers had to indefinitely give Bouchard um, that the reason that they paid him so high, the $10.5 million, just because they needed to lock him down. I do think now, just because of the way Wallman's playing, that maybe he could have played the power play. We might have not even needed Bouchard, but Bouchard has another gear in the playoffs. He's shown time and time again that he could be our best defenseman in the playoffs. But his regular season is not speaking for itself. He's currently -10, one of the worst in the National Hockey League. That is not great.
Not a deal. Yeah, when your top guy, your top D man, obviously is at -10 through what 8, 9 games, it's really not ideal throughout the year. Obviously, he did get a boost bomb the other day, walking in there, a little self pass, just light it up. But I mean, the production needs to happen, and he needs to. At the end of the day, you're still a defenseman, right? It's still a huge part of the game, and it's equally as valuable to keep pucks out of your own net as you can put them in. So, yeah, it's great.
I think one thing is there's a lot of highs and lows on that back end for the Oilers. Wallman, he's only played a couple of games here because he started the year off with the injury, but he's definitely on the high. We signed him for $7 million. I think me and Rowan were a bit slightly worried about that, just the term and the millions. Just we haven't seen enough about him because we got him so late in the season, and I think Wallman is a great defenseman, but Ekholm is slightly struggling right now, and our back end is with Emerson and Stetcher, they're just not quite finding their footing just yet. And I think Kulak he's been our guy for countless years. I think 5+ now. And the boys just needed a couple of games to get settled in. And I think Bouchard and Nurse with their goals against Seattle, that was big for the back end. They really upped their tone there. I think maybe they just needed to find their footing, because one thing I think, this is just my opinion, but I think Chris Knobloch could try and work on is, they showed it, I think, 5 to 8 games in the season, that Knobloch did about 21 different combinations of forwards. You just cannot find the chemistry when you switch up the line so much. I think when you play Timbits hockey and you play high level hockey, one thing your coaches want you to do is they want to find that chemistry. Who likes to play with each other? When you play like high level hockey, oh, you've known this guy for 5 years and you've been playing at the outdoor rink for every single night. You guys have all that chemistry, and it just really, that's one thing the Oilers need to find. I think they need to have some cemented lines in place, like all these other teams in the National Hockey League have, just to maybe find that chemistry.
Yes, I entirely agree. I mean, obviously with the new off-season additions and re-signings, I mean, Vasily Podkolzin, yes, we've heard that name for a little bit here in Oilers Nation, but he's still relatively new to the team. I mean, we're talking Andrew Mangiapane, right? New to the team in this offseason. David Tomasek, new to the team. Jack Roslovic. I mean, these are guys coming in and out of the top six. I mean, they've been thrown around the lineup like every week, and it's really tough to find. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, yeah.
I think one thing is with the Oilers is, I was talking to one of my other friends last night, and I said, the one thing that these Oilers have is there's some new young talent this season with Isaac Howard and Matt Savoy. And I think one thing is with younger players in this National Hockey League is that they still have that passion for hockey. They're not treating it like a job, and they care, like they're just playing hockey because they find it fun, and them getting paid is just another thing on the table. And I think Matt Savoy, Isaac Howard, Jack Roslovic is still on his younger years. They're trying to find their job right now. They don't Isaac Howard and Matt Savoy, they might be in the AHL next season, or by the end of this year. They want to play on the number one team.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing their absolute. They're working as hard as they can to show something to Knobloch, and that's hard.
Yeah, it's really tough for the team. Moving to, do you think Chris Knobloch is on the hot seat to start this season?
Ah. See, I think one thing is about Chris Knobloch is you have to give him some respect. He has brought our team to not one, but 2 Stanley Cup finals.
Yep.
Taking a team to the Stanley Cup finals, I feel like I could bring the Oilers to the Stanley Cup finals because they're such a good team.
Mm-hmm.
But last season they thought, if you looked on Sportsnet, TSN, ESPN, wherever you look anywhere, the Oilers were not favored against the LA Kings. We weren't really favored against the Vegas Golden Knights. We weren't very favored against the Dallas Stars. And we definitely weren't favored against the Florida Panthers. So you're getting not favored 0 for 4 times, and your team wins every single one of them except for the Floridas. That is a very, very hard thing to do. And I think Knobloch needs a little bit more respect. But the way the boys are playing this season, it looks like they want to get him fired. It just looks, from my opinion, it looks like they want to get him fired. And Knobloch, that's why he's made 21 different line combinations through the first 5 to 8 games. Because he's worried about his job as well. Not just Matt Savoy and Isaac Howard and all the other guys. He's worried as well.
Yeah, he is. I mean, obviously, he's trying to find a spark there, right? Trying out all those different line combinations. He's gotta really like figure something out quickly. And I mean, we did talk earlier. It is early in the season, but I mean, now we're what? We're 10 games in the season, and I think we're an eighth in the season, and we still haven't found our footing fully. I mean, right, this Oilers team really needs to figure it out and find out where our identity is and set some lines here because we need to start building, right? Like it's a snowball. This year is a snowball, right? When you build into the playoffs, it has to keep going. So yeah, you can't limp into the playoffs and expect, hey guys, let's pick it up now. I mean, unless you're the Florida Panthers and you've been there, battle hardened, but it's just yeah, this team needs to start rolling and needs to find our footing. Obviously, with the scoring problems, our power play has looked mediocre at best, and just finding the net, it's got to happen soon.
I think you just mentioned the power play. I just have a quick question for you, Rowan. Do you think the reason that our coaching might not be as good this year and our power play might be struggling, because I know Glenn Gulletson was the leader of that power play. He was in Edmonton for about 5 plus years. He was here for a good chunk of time. They signed him, I think, maybe even like 2015, 2018, 2019. I don't know the correct stats on that. But do you think that the loss of Glenn Gulletson to Dallas, that might have affected our power play and our coaching decisions? Was he helping out Knobloch that much because he knew the boys that well?
Yeah, I don't quite know. It's dynamic within the team. Obviously, we don't have that sort of information. I mean, obviously we've lost Glenn Gallison, right, to the Dallas Stars, and I don't believe these guys are so skilled. They know, they obviously know that, hey guys, we need to get going. This is not an undiagnosed problem within the team. They figured it out, and obviously, they go every game trying to score, so it's not a decide on the day type of thing, right? It's like once you get it, this is the goal, and it's just struggled. I mean, I don't know if it's a system thing or if teams are figuring it out more, but I believe that production will come. This is not a long term problem, and once we find our footing and get rolling, it's a train hard to stop.
I think maybe we should just wrap up the podcast, just a shorter one, just for our first session here. This was just kind of just find our footing. Um, why don't we just give one hot take for the Oilers? If it doesn't have to be Oilers related, just to finish it out. Rowan, you want to start us off?
Sure. My hot take to start this year, a couple teams have looked really hot. A couple teams have been really fun to watch, and for me, the most fun to watch so far has been the Montreal Canadiens. And regarding the Montreal Canadiens, I believe that the Montreal Canadiens will not only make the playoffs, but also make it into and past the second round of the NHL playoffs. This is obviously, we are spewing hot takes. These aren't exactly what we think. I mean, obviously, we have brackets coming up at the end of the year. We have to predict our Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm not sure by then I'll stand by that take, but we're firing off early here. This is a hot take for a reason, and I really like what I see it in Montreal. Obviously, inexperienced young team. You got young stars, Cole Caulfield, Ivan Demidov, Lane Hudson, just to name a few. Captain Nick Suzuki. All right, but they've been obviously forced to OT numerous times to start this year, but they find ways to win, and that Bell Center is just electric. I'd love to do it and go see it when the team is rolling. Yurov Slafkovsky been great. He's a big power forward, like 6'3", 6'4", 225, big guy. And this team, as they mature in age and as they get more pieces, it's really gonna be fun to watch. Along with Jakub Dobish and net, he's really pushing right now. He's been fantastic the last couple of games. He's really pushing into the envelope to see and make the coaches think, hey, Sam Montembeau may be returning soon. Who's going to get the majority of the games? And if we are splitting them, I mean, who do we want against tough teams? He's shown that hey, I've gotten better and I'm right there for those big games.
Yeah, I think it's a great point about Montreal and how good they are. It's going to be a very tough to make the second round of the National Hockey League. To make the second round will be a different question, but I do think they will make the playoffs as well. Dobes is unreal. He's had a 950 save percentage. That was just through his first 4 games and a 1.47 goals against average. That is incredible. I think you're right with he might take the net over Montembeau. He's an absolute stud, just like their defense with Lane Hudson, Mike Matheson. Now they just added Noah Dobson with their trade. Um, they are an elite team. They are going to do some damage this year against some teams. They score a lot of goals. They're fun to watch. Uh, that's a great take, Rowan.
One
I'm going to just give my take.
One point I kind of want to add to that. It recently came out that they do lose a prolific goal scorer, Patrick Laine, on that left wing, out 3 to 4 months with surgery, I believe, in his back. That is a huge hit. Obviously, Laine hasn't been producing at a fantastic pace this year thus far, but um, and last year as well, there was a lot of concern of this 5-on-5 scoring. He obviously looks dynamite on that left side on that power play, but um, when he has been out, they have found guys to replace him and guys who, hey, maybe they don't have the rocket of a shot he does or can wrist it off as fast as he does, but they're playmakers, right? They know how to shoot. I mean, these guys are studs. They're all NHLers. They all can figure it out, and they've had the talent to fill those spots. So as much as that injury does hurt, it's next man up, right? They'll figure it out and they'll keep it chugging. Okay, now onto your hot take.
Yeah, I think just to end it off there in Montreal, I think guys like Kirby Doc will step up. He's an excellent NHL player. He'll find his way to make that top 6 or the top 9. He'll contribute for Line A, and I think they'll be okay. And the Line A will be much needed in the playoffs and the later games. He means a lot to that team. I think the biggest thing I've seen this season and I'm not most surprised about, but most shocked is how well Matthew Schaefer skates and how impactful he is to his team. I think my biggest hot take, and I'm gonna get blamed for this, is that Matthew Schaefer means more to the New York Islanders of Long Island than Connor McDavid in this current moment, first 10 games, means to the Oilers. Why do I feel this way? Schaefer, when I don't know if you saw the play, but Schaefer got hit from behind, and his whole team runs to go get that guy. They're all chopping him, give him cross checks, this, that, and the other. And when McDavid goes down, we go for him. But the boys are understanding the importance of how well Nugent Hopkins is playing this year, how well Draisaitl means to the team. I mean, Draisaitl scored 2 goals last night. He's an absolute force to be reckoned with, Draisaitl. And I feel like they figured out McDavid slightly in the NHL, but Draisaitl and his pivotal one-timer has not been figured out to this point in the season.
Yes, and in my mind, that is not absolutely scorching. I somewhat agree with that take. Matthew Schaefer's skating ability, he's already taken over that top role, that top D-man role in um, Long Island. I mean, I've seen a stat over the first 6 games. He's tied for the most, the most point streak games to start an NHL career as a defenseman at 6, and he's been fantastic. Obviously, got 2 goals already in his career. He's got what 8 points, 7, 8, 9 points to start the year, and he's been fantastic for that team. He breaks the puck out by himself. I mean, he changes the game for that team. They regroup. It's much faster, much, much like a smoother regroup, and they always get onto the attack much faster with him. They spend less time in the D zone and more time producing chances.
I think one thing is with Schaefer is like, yeah, you could talk about his points, but I feel like he's also a very good defensive defenseman in his own right. We can talk about offensive defensemen like Adam Fox and Bouchard. They're very great at getting points because of their pivotal power plays. But I think Schaefer also does a very excellent job of his defensive playmaking. He shows very well how he has. He has great vision of the ice, and I think one thing that's going to be quite hard is when John Cooper assembles his lineup for the Four Nations. He's going to have a hard time looking to take Schaefer off the lineup. If he does that, or he might even pick Schaefer because of his presence. But I don't think he's gonna pick Schaefer just because of his NHL experience, and they're gonna send guys that have just that little bit more experience, Stanley Cup games, because that's what's gonna be happening in the ice. But I do think if they were to pick Schaefer, I don't think they are, but if they were to pick him, it would be a good idea just because he's so fast and it's a bigger ice, the Olympic ice, that he could be very meaningful to the team. But I don't think he will make the team.
I agree. That's a good idea, and yeah, I found that's a great take. Matthew Schaefer, obviously stud for his points this year so far, but I've seen numerous clips, defensive clips, him checking guys in the corner and getting his feet moving, wheeling around the net, or breakaways, high flips, things where stuff does get past him, but his just superior skating ability leads him to not only move his feet, but get back and intercept pucks, right? Or take out stick on puck first, right? So, yeah, it's been fantastic.
I think that's where it leaves us all.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Adios, and this is Benchside over and out.